Morning. It is Monday, January 2nd, 2023. Yes, January 2nd, 2023. Good morning, and Happy New Year. I am blessed to be here. And if I am blessed to be here, then you are blessed because you are here too. So it is now 8:22. We're going to stop this. We're going to make sure this show goes off on time. We have a show tomorrow at 1 o'clock. It is going off on time. We have a show on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. It is going off on time. We're not going to be late anymore. I guarantee you that, ladies and gentlemen. I commit myself to it. But it is time for the Monday morning review, which means when I commit myself, if I get into another car accident, I will still get the show done. No technical difficulties. Nothing's going to stop us from getting this thing done on time because you deserve it. Now, we're going to cover the NFL Week 17. Now, you would think with 17 weeks, it would be over by now because it's really only 17 games, but they gave them a bye week. They should have given 2 bye weeks because the season is so long. Might as well just stretch it out to 19 weeks. Give the players and the teams 2 bye weeks. This was something that I discussed in my State of the NFL review because of so many players getting injured. Yes, getting injured. I think 21 out of the 32 starting quarterbacks were injured this year. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. That is a horrendous number. So something needs to be done so the NFL is more viable to the players and the fans. Now, week 17, there's only one more week to go. Okay? There's only one more week to go. And for the most part, we know who's going to be in the playoffs. And for the most part, we know more than likely, we know more than anything else who is not going to be in the playoffs. Okay? So let's get ready. Let's get set. And let's go. Starting off with the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons finally finally got a win. They defeated the Arizona Cardinals 20-19 with a last-minute field goal. Now, there's a backdrop to this story. See, the Cardinals, they are down to their 4th-string quarterback, and they really didn't even have a 4th-string quarterback. One David Blau. David Blau was signed off the streets 3 weeks ago because, again, they didn't have a 4th-string quarterback. They had Kyler Murray, then they had Colt McCoy, then they had McSorley last week. Yeah, Tracy McSorley, and he got injured, and so they had to go find this guy, and essentially he's a 4th-string quarterback. I got to give him credit though. He came in there. They signed him 3 weeks ago, and the last time he played was in 2019, 3 years ago, for the Detroit Lions. Wow. His name is David Blau. And David, judging by your last 2 stints, playing for the Lions and now playing for the Cardinals, life has not been easy for you. No. You haven't been given a silver lining. What is that? Your streets have not been lined with gold as far as your profession. But you hung in there, and you gave it a really good shot. And matter of fact, Atlanta would have lost this game. They kicked the field goal with 2 seconds left. So you made it a heck of a game. I think everybody should give you, so much credit for coming in there and just really giving your all, making a competitive game when you were sitting back watching television like the rest of us just 3 weeks ago. Other than that, there's not much to talk about on this game. Atlanta won. They got their first win in, I think, 6 games. Let's move on to something much, much better, which is my Detroit, your Detroit, our Detroit Lions. America's Detroit Lions defeated. Yes, they defeated the Chicago Bears 41-10. Those ferocious Lions decimated the roadkill Bears and had no mercy on them. Chicago scored 10 points in the first quarter, and that would be all that they were going to get because the Lions defense clamped down on them and clawed them and just roughed them over, and that was that. Okay? Now, though they were down 38-10 by the start of the fourth quarter, the Bears inexplicably still left Justin Fields in the game. And like I said in my State of the NFL broadcast, you, the fans, deserve more than window dressing to the fact that they are trying to win. That's not trying to win when you just leave that guy in there. This guy's your future. If you really want to show the fans you want to win, you might want to pull this guy so that he'll be ready for next year. Not get him hurt, as he has been hurt the last 3 weeks by getting hit in games that don't matter at all. Back to Detroit. Even with this stupendous win, yes, it was stupendous because they beat the crap out of the Bears, Detroit was unable to clinch a playoff spot. Next week, they're going to go against the Green Bay Packers, who they are tied with in the Central Division. Both of these two teams need this win in order to be even remotely qualified for a playoff spot. So we're going to see what happens next week. Speaking of Green Bay stepped up and slapped up on the Minnesota Vikings 41-17. The Vikings have already clinched the Central Division. They've clinched it way like 3 weeks ago. And they are in coast mode. The score was 27-3 going into the fourth quarter. And it was pretty much over then. They still had to finish off another quarter because, well, they were mandated to. Aaron Rodgers did his best Dick Dastardly impression and gloated over the Vikings in the win, saying that he disowned them. Disowned them. It's a playoff. Remember when he said he owned the Bears? Well, now he disowns the Vikings. Okay, that was my own joke there. See, when you write your own jokes, you just hope for the best. The New England Patriots, those much hated New England Patriots from that owned the NFL for 20 years because of Tom Brady, they strengthened their chances for a playoff spot by defeating the Miami Dolphins 23-21. Yes, 23-21. In a game that should not even have been this close because starting quarterback for Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa was out. He was out of the game, concussed once again. So backup Teddy Bridgewater, who has looked terrible this year, who came in and got injured early in the year, which was just as well because nothing was happening while he was in there. He came in and couldn't hit the side of a barn on most of his throws. Then after throwing the pick six, he was replaced by third-string quarterback Skylar Thompson. Yes, Skylar Thompson. Thompson was no better, and he also threw an interception. Miami has lost the last 5 games and are, well, lack for a better term, dead in the water. The New Orleans Saints beat the Philadelphia Eagles 20-10 in the upset of the day. Now, in this game, the backup quarterback for the Eagles, Gardner Minshew, came in. He started for the Eagles because Jalen Hurts is still recovering from a shoulder situation, and he quickly showed why he is a backup. Minshew couldn't find his receivers when they were open. When he did, he over or underthrew them. He threw for an interception. He couldn't sustain the drive, and this looked totally inept. The Philadelphia Eagles, well, they made the playoffs. They clinched the playoff spot, but they're in a little bit of trouble right here. See, they now just have a 1-game lead over the Cowboys, and if they are tied, if the Cowboys win next week and the Eagles lose, the Cowboys might win that division. Who would have thought that? Dallas, okay, Dallas. Okay, speaking of Dallas, well, you're going to see this is going to segue into this because they're going to play New York. The New York Football Giants, who are the Eagles' next opponent, defeated the Indianapolis Colts 38-10. But then again, who doesn't? The Colts, who have lost 9 of the last 10 games, have entered into a free fall stage. The Colts have looked worse with each passing week. But look at it this way. They are the perfect New Year's gift for any team that wants to win. So actually, it's the Eagles playing the Giants next week. I'm not entirely sure who Dallas plays, but I'm sure the Eagles want to beat the Giants so they can stay ahead of the Cowboys. If they lose to the Giants and the Cowboys win, it could be trouble in Philadelphia. The Kansas City Chiefs. Whoa. Okay, the Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Denver Broncos 27-24. Now, this game was actually much closer than anyone expected. In what should have been a blowout, which everyone thought it should have been a blowout, I did. And we're talking about I think the Broncos have only won 3 or 4 games this year. Terrible. And the Kansas City has already won 12. This was a certified blowout by anybody's expectations, but it turned into a highly contested contest. Denver led 17-6 going into the fourth quarter. And it looked like it was over. But this is what good teams or great teams do. They come back. Yes, they do. They take a game that they should have lost. KC probably should have lost. They were outplayed for 3 quarters. And then they come back and win. Pat Mahomes, the magical Pat Mahomes, rallied the Chiefs and won the game. The Cleveland Browns, from Paul Brown to Jim Brown, Otto Graham, the hallowed Cleveland Browns defeated the Washington Commanders 24-10. Now, there's not much to say on this game. Both of these two teams are not in contention anymore, especially Washington because they lost this game. But Deshaun Watson is looking better as the games go on. It's a shame that he did not start the season because the Browns probably would be in the playoffs. Yes, they would. Oh, and on the other hand, since Deshaun Watson is looking better for the Browns as the weeks go on, Carson Wentz, he always looks good when they first put him in. He is starting to look worse as the weeks go. Well, both of these two teams did well to entertain. Like I said, neither one has a chance at the playoffs. But on the other hand, the Jacksonville Jaguars do have a chance at the playoffs. And they showed their mettle by stomping the Houston Texans 31-3. 31-3, ladies and gentlemen. It was so bad that the Jags pulled their starting quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, from the game to begin the fourth quarter. The Jaguars. Anyway, the Jaguars are in first place in the AFC South. Next week, they will play the Tennessee Titans to determine who is to be champion of that division. Now, that's right. You heard me say that they're in first place. But if they play Tennessee and Tennessee beats them, then Tennessee is going to be tied with them, and Tennessee has beat them twice, and everything's going to be for grabs. I'm not sure how that's going to settle out. Hey, Jacksonville, you can end all the speculation just by beating Tennessee, which seems to be easy to do because Tennessee is getting smacked up by everybody right now. Ryan Tannehill's gone. Most of the team is decimated. Just take care of your job next week. And you will be in the club. You will win the NFC South. The AFC South. The Seattle Seahawks pummeled the New York Jets. If this was a prize fight, they would have stopped it after the first quarter. And yeah, they pummeled them 23-6. Seattle is still in contention for a playoff spot. And the Jets are back in their familiar position at the bottom of the basement in the AFC East. The Seahawks now control their destiny. Yes, if they win next week, they are in the playoffs. Now, I say they have a highly probable chance of winning next week because they are playing the Los Angeles Rams. You can basically just pencil their name in already as in the playoffs. So it's a very high probability. Yeah, definitely. They should definitely be in there. Speaking of the Rams, and this is why I say that, they were headbutted by the Los Angeles Chargers. Yes, the Los Angeles Rams were headbutted by the Los Angeles Chargers to the tune of 31-10. Justin Herbert did whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. He just did Justin Herbert all day, okay, for the Rams. Not that he needed to do much. He did 200 yards and 2 touchdowns passing. The Rams quarterback, Baker Mayfield, on the other hand, couldn't do anything. And so that was the score. Yeah. The Chargers are trending up as they head into the playoffs, and they have a playoff spot. And this is a word to the wise for the teams that are playing the Chargers. You better watch out. They're trending up, and they're starting to believe in themselves. And that could be trouble. That spells trouble with a capital T. And in the most highly contested game of the day, Sunday, you're not going to believe this. The San Francisco 49ers barely, and I mean barely, eked out a win over the Las Vegas Raiders, 37-34 in overtime. The 49ers, who now have, I think, the best record in the NFC, or tied with the best record in the NFC, barely beat the woebegone, hapless, inept-looking Raiders, which is how they've looked all season, 37-34. And it took overtime to do it. How did this happen? Why did this happen? It's inexplicable. Actually is not inexplicable. There was one change made for the Raiders, and it changed everything. What happened is that Derek Carr was not the Raiders quarterback. No. Derek Carr, I don't even know if he was on the bench. I think he just packed his bags and went home. But he was replaced by one Jarrett Stidham. Now, Jarrett Stidham was a quarterback with the New England Patriots back when McDaniels, the head coach of the Raiders, was a offensive coach for the New England Patriots. And he brought Jarrett Stidham in. Bill Belichick never gave him a chance. But Stidham is a lot better quarterback than Derek Carr is right now. Okay? With Stidham, the Raiders look like a whole new team. Jarrett Stidham drove the ball downfield on the best defense in the NFL repeatedly. They didn't have an answer for this guy. He ran for some. He didn't really make much of a run, but his throws were so accurate. And he was threading the ball in there. They tried to do play it as a zone defense. He shredded the zone. He put a man coverage on him. He was letting his receivers beat the man, or just throwing it up there and letting Devontae Adams beat the man. I mean, I can't rave enough about what I saw on the Jarrett Stidham yesterday. He looked like a maestro, leading the Raiders to score after score after score. Stidham is a keeper, and Derek Carr is going to be looking for a new home, real soon. And in the marquee game of the day, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came from behind yet again to defeat the Carolina Panthers 30-24 and clinch the NFC South. That's right, came from behind yet again. How does he do it? We don't know. At one point in the fourth quarter, the Bucs were down. It's right. At one point in the fourth quarter, the last quarter, they were down 21-10. It looked like curtains. It looked like the end. But then again, there's this guy named Tom Brady on that team. And he has the most fourth quarter comebacks of any quarterback in the history of the NFL. Hello. And it happened again. Tom Brady went into a phone booth. No, that's right. They don't have those anymore. So he must have went into that tent. He went under a tent, or maybe underneath the stands. And when he came out, he was Superman. Tom Brady threw for over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he even ran for a touchdown. Not bad for a 45-year-old quarterback who was tossed out on his ear by the New England Patriots. And the Buccaneers are in the playoffs yet again, and they are trending upward. And in the last game of the day, night, however you want to put it, the Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Baltimore Ravens 16-3, and there was not much to see, talk about, or hear in this game. The Pittsburgh defense is pretty good. Okay, they have a good defense, but their offense is woeful. But the Ravens offense is even more woeful. I was going to say awful, but let's just go with woeful. Tyler Huntley is not a good replacement for Lamar Jackson. Okay, and the Ravens are suffering. They are truly suffering without Lamar Jackson. They have nothing going for them on offense. Something I pointed out in the preview. Without Jackson, they are going to the roadkill. Yeah, they're just a crow that's going to get hit by a car. And that's happening right now. It finally caught up to them. For the last 4 games, they were able to eke out 3 wins. But it's catching up to them. And it's not going to be long. And I think Lamar Jackson's gone for the season. So it might not be long for the Baltimore Ravens to be in the playoffs. They might not even make it. Now, the Steelers, on the other hand, the Steelers at 8-8 actually have a chance at a playoff spot, which just goes to show just how bad it is in the NFL. Because did you know this, ladies and gentlemen? The majority of teams in the NFL have a losing record. And it's not even close. I did the state of the NFL on Saturday. And of the teams, okay, there's 16 teams in each conference. Only 6 of the teams in each conference had a winning record at that time. Only 6. 10 of the teams do not have losing winning records. So you fans are left with the majority of you fans are left with rooting for teams that have losing records. The NFL, making millions, if not billions of dollars, have given you a product in which most of their teams are losers. And you, the fan, deserve better than that. I would start making my voice known and stop taking this, just saying I'm going to support the team no matter what. Start letting them know that you want and deserve more than this. They are making money. They have the opportunity to put a better product out on the field, and you should demand it. With that, I'm going to wrap it up. I got to get ready to go to church because it is January 2nd in the 2023rd year of our Lord, and I have to give him praise. With that, I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to give you guys praise for being here. Praise for this operation. Praise for everything. Praise for being in this position. And remember now, fans, you are the most important person in sports. That's right, you. Take care of you, your health, your wealth, your outlook, and take care of your family. Love your family. With that, I say good night, everybody. Well, what can I say? Good night. It's good day, everybody. Can you say good day? That means goodbye. Well, how about just goodbye, everybody? Goodbye. Have a great day. And if you want to tune into NBA Tuesday tomorrow, we'll be talking about the NBA and the Eastern Conference. Tune in. Okay? If not, you can wait till Friday when we'll be talking about NFL again. Or you can tune in for Wednesday, which is Wellness Wednesday. Whatever the case may be, I look forward to seeing and talking with you, me and my co-host. We will be looking forward to seeing and talking with you and being heard by you. With that, have a good day. Take care and take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everybody.